Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss one of the most popular and twisted tales of the time, After 20 Years by O. Henry. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. O. Henry, who was born by the name William Sidney Porter, was an American short story writer. He was known for his clever use of wordplay and surprise endings. His works often explore the complexities of human nature and the unpredictability of life. The story is set in New York City at night. It's cold, windy, with a hint of rain. And we see from the very beginning of the story that a cop is patrolling the quiet streets of New York. In the story, you're gonna find three characters. We've got the cop. Cop means a policeman. He's a strong, watchful person. He is patrolling the streets and he represents law and order. Secondly, we have the man waiting by the door. He's got a colorless face, bright eyes, and a large jewel in his tie. He waits for his friend Jimmy Wells after 20 years. And we have Jimmy Wells, who is going to be revealed towards the end. He is going to appear as a tall man in a long coat. And he is the one who's going to bring for you a surprise twist towards the end of the story. I will now start decoding the summary of the story, and in between I'm also going to read some parts of the story. The cop moved along the street looking strong and important. This was the way he always moved. He was not thinking how he looked. There were few people on the street to see him. So we see that the story begins where a cop is patrolling the cold, quiet streets of New York at night. While on his duty, he notices a man waiting by a darkened shop door. Now at this time, the waiting man explains to the cop about a reunion after 20 years. And he recalls about a pact made with his dear friend Jimmy Wells that they would meet outside Big Joe Brady's restaurant. The waiting man further narrates the story of how he moved to West for success, but his friend Jimmy Wells stayed back in New York. The waiting man also expresses the confidence he has that his friend Jimmy is going to turn up and meet him after 20 years. The cop questions about how did this waiting man get his success. The waiting man, very confident, decides to wait on for Jimmy even if he is late. Next, he goes on to say, but I'll be glad about that if my old friends come too. The waiting man took out a fine watch covered with small jewels. 3 minutes before 10, he said. It was 10 that night when we said goodbye here at the restaurant door. You were successful in the West, weren't you? This is the place where the cop is asking that how did he get his share of success. After that, I'm reading the next paragraph. That is, if Jimmy is alive on earth, he'll be here by that time. Good night, officer, good night, said the cop and walked away, trying doors as he went. There was now a cold rain and the wind was stronger. About 20 minutes later, he waited and then a tall man arrived in a long coat across the street. He went directly to the waiting man. So we see how the waiting man is sure that his friend will come, and towards the end when the cop has left, the waiting man has indeed been successful in his guess game because his friend he sees has arrived and he's crossing the street and coming towards him. Is that you, Bob? He asked doubtfully. Is that you, Jimmy Wells? Cried the man at the door. The new man took the other man's hand in his. It's Bob. It surely is. I was certain I would find you here if you were still alive. 20 years is a long time. The old restaurant is gone, Bob. But I wish it were here so that we could have another dinner in it. Has the West been good to you? It gave me everything I asked for. So you see how the conversation unfolds between the two friends who have met after 20 years. Now is the place where you are going to find the twist coming in, because the man from the west gradually realizes the truth that the tall man is not Jimmy Wells. It is a shocking revelation, because this tall man, whom he thought to be his friend, is actually a cop. The real Jimmy is now sent in to the whole scene, and the cop reveals to the waiting man Bob that he is the one who is wanted by the Chicago police. He is handed over a letter from Jimmy Wells where he explains the situation, and this is the place where the final twist will take place. The part I've highlighted in red for you. What is the letter going to say? Bob, I was at the place on time. I saw the face of a man wanted by the Chicago cops. I didn't want to arrest you myself, so I went and got another cop and sent him to do the job. Jimmy. So we see how O. Henry masterfully creates a narrative which is full of suspense and a surprising twist, leaving the readers to think about the complexity of human connections and how friendships change over time. Let me know if Jimmy was a true friend of Bob or not in the comment section down below. Time and Change. The story delves into the impact of 20 years on individuals and their relationships. Bob and Jimmy, once close friends, have undergone a significant change during this time period. The physical and the personal transformations that time brings highlight the inevitability of change. The nostalgia of their past is completely in contrast with the reality of the present, emphasizing how friendships evolve over time. Now, whether for good or bad, that is left open for the readers to decide about. A central theme of the story revolves around Jimmy's loyalty to his friendship with Bob. Despite the passage of 2 decades, Jimmy's commitment to their pact is evident in his recognition of Bob's face and his decision to send an undercover cop for the arrest. However, there's a subtle betrayal for the sake of duty. Jimmy, now a law enforcement officer, prioritizes his duty over personal sentiments, revealing the complexity of loyalty when faced with conflicting responsibilities. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.